Hello, good morning. Welcome to our robotics class. This is week 36. So we are still learning about the eye sensor and we are still in the color disc maze. So this week we're in unit 7, lesson 2. So remember last week we learned about how to use our eye sensor and then we were able to navigate with the different color discs and to be able to tell the robot what to do when it sees a different color. So this week, we're going to be creating a project using the front eye sensor, and we're going to be navigating through the disc maze playground. So here we go. There's our little disc maze playground that you guys might remember from last week. So we will be moving through. So last week we ended up moving forward until we hit the green disc and then we turned right. So that's pretty much, it was some simple basic code that we did last week. And there it was. Drive to first disc green, then turn right. And that's pretty much what we did. We put in those blocks. We had our front eye. When it detected green, then we told it to turn right for 90 degrees. And that's pretty much what we did, right? So now we're going to move along. And so this one is drive to green, then blue discs. So here they map it out for you, driving to green and then driving to blue, the blue discs. So let's see if we can follow along. So we're going to be driving to the first disc that's green, then turning right. So we have the code for that. And then it says drive to the next disc, which is blue, and then turn left. So then we're adding in the code for that. When it detects blue, then it's going to turn left. And then we're going to run the project. So let's try and go through. Let's see if we could add this code in. So remember, we can start with the notes because that can help us. So we're going to drive to the first disc, which is green, and then turn right. So that helps us to know what we're doing. So remember, the comments can help us. So we're driving to first disc, which is green, then turn right. So we have to go back to our drivetrain, get our drive forward. Then the blocks that we're using are the wait until, and we're using our front eye sensor. So we have to get our wait until block. And then we have to get our sensor, our front eye sensor. And we want to be able to detect the color green. And then when it detects the color green, what are we doing? In this case, we're turning right. So that was the first step that we had. Now for this next lesson, the next step says drive to the next disc, which is blue, and then turn left. So let's add our node in. So we're gonna drive to the next disc, which is blue, then turn left. So again, we're going to add in our drive forward, then we're going to get our wait until block, and then get our sensor. So our, where is it? Our color sensor. So when it detects blue, then we're going to be turning left in this example. Okay. And then the last part here, I believe, is the third disc. Drive to the third disc. And if it's blue, then we're going to be turning left. So let's add that one. So we actually could add a comment in here. So we're driving to the third disc. Drive to third disc, which is blue, then turn left. And then you could actually copy. I wonder if we could duplicate this code. Add it there. Oh, oops. And then get rid of that. Okay, and then so now we have our first disc, our next disc is blue, our third disc is blue, and then our last disc is blue, and then we're going to stop. So then the last thing is drive to the last disc. So we could actually just copy this code, duplicate it, and then drive to last disk, and then turn left. So now let's try this in the playground. So I'm going to open up the disk maze. Let's run this and let's see if we actually are able to progress through the maze, depending on, so it looks like we're going from green to blue to blue to blue. So let me start it. Let's see what happens. So there it goes. Driving to green, turning right, driving to blue, turning left, driving to the next blue, turning left, driving to the next blue, turning left, and then there you go. So it seems like it's working, right? We're able to drive through the maze depending and using the color sensors. When it detects blue or green, it either turns right or left. So it looks like we're doing pretty good getting through the maze using our sensor. So it says, notice that there is a pattern. There is a series of blocks that are repeated 3 times in the project. This can be condensed using the repeat block. So that is very true. We can definitely use the repeat block because we are repeating it 3 times. So we could instead put a repeat block over the last 3 chunks of code. So let me get a repeat block. I'm going to put it over here. We're going to make it 3 times. And then it's pretty much going to be this last section of code. It's going to get repeated, and then we can take out everything here. So now this is going to be, because we're repeating it, it's going to say drive to the next 3 disks, blue, and turn left. So pretty much we're repeating the code. And then you can notice, wow, that's so much shorter, right? That is so much shorter than having all of that long code. And hopefully you remember from like code.org and Scratch, the repeat blocks can be so helpful because you're taking all of this code right here and you're just putting one of them into the repeat block, putting 3 times. And imagine you save yourself all that work. So it can really help. So we just navigated 4 different disks, a green one, a blue one, a blue one, and a blue one. So pretty easy, right? Okay, so let's go to next now. So it says in the mini challenge, we're going to be navigating the disk maze playground from start to finish using the front eye sensor. So we will be driving up to each disk at least once before driving to the red disk to finish the challenge. So the robot must drive up to each disk at least once, turn right if the front eye sensor detects a green disk, turn left if it detects a blue disk, and stop at the red disk. So that's pretty much what we're trying to do. So here's our maze. We're going up here, then we're going to this blue one, blue one, blue one, blue one. Then it's going straight to a green one, down to a blue one, to a green one, and then to a red one. So we really just need to add the code because we stopped right here. So now we're doing another blue. So we probably could actually make it 4 times for the blue. Drive to the next 4 disks that are blue. And then that we can now add the code on. So now after we get to this one, now we're going to be driving straight to the green. We have 2 greens. So 1 green. No, we have actually a green and then a blue and then a green. So I wonder if we could even, I'm just trying to think how we can use the repeat block. So we have a green one next. So if you remember, the code for the green will be drive forward, wait until it detects green, and turn right. So let's try and add that in. So drive forward, get our wait block. Okay, get our sensor block. Wait until the front eye detects green this time. And then for green, we're going to be turning right 90. So I'm just going to test this out really quick just to see where it gets us. And then we can try to see how we can keep going. Okay, so let's test this out. Okay, so it's going to green and then blue. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, that doesn't look like it's doing what we want it to do. Oh, definitely not. So that is not working out right. Mm-mm. Okay, so hang on a minute. That was definitely not working out right because we had this as 3. So let's see what could have happened. What happened here in our code? Let's see, because we originally had it as 3 and then we just tried to change it to 4, but our direction is messed up. So yeah. Okay, so hang on a minute. Let's just start. Hang on. Okay, I'm just going to scrap. I scrapped all the code. Really quick, don't forget to save, rename your thing. So put your name, Unit 7, Lesson 2, Mini Challenge, rename it. So I scrapped all the code. So let's think about this for a minute in the playground. There's a couple of things that we know are happening. We know that if we're sensing green, we're going right, and blue, we're going left. So it seems like it's repeating that whole thing. So there is a way we could add the code in to forever loop. So for example, if we know that, so let's try and get our if block. So if we know that, oh, not that one. If we know that our sensor, let me get our sensor, our front eye sensor is detecting, for example, no color. So it just has a clear path. It's just going to be driving forward, right? And then our other conditional is for our 2 colors in the maze, the blue and the red. So if our front eye sensor detects blue, then we know that the direction we're going to turn for blue will be left. So we can pop our left in there. And then for our conditional for the other color, so which would be red, so I would go back and get my front eye sensor. And if it detects red, then we know we're going to be turning right 90 degrees. So now let's see if this kind of simplifies the code a little bit for us, because now our code is a lot shorter. We're just forever looping the different conditions, right? So I'm going to open up the playground, and then I'm going to run it. And let's see what it looks like here. Seems to have gotten stuck. Something worth mentioning that we did forget to add in was if the front eye sensor detects red, then we should stop driving. So please make sure to add that in too. So these are all of our conditionals. If our front eye sensor detects no color, it's going to drive forward. If the front eye detects blue, it will turn left for 90 degrees. If it detects green, it will turn right for 90 degrees. And if it detects red, it will stop driving. So when we take a look at our maze, we can see that that will get us through the entire maze, and then the robot will stop at the red disc. Okay, so I believe we can run this, hopefully, without any problems. And we can watch the robot go through the maze. And as long as it touches every disc in the maze, that was the goal. And then it stops at the red disc, which is in the lower right-hand corner, which it is a little bit tricky to see because whenever I show anything on this video, for some reason, the bottom gets cut off. That's okay. So now we made it through the maze. So this would be the code that you would include for your homework this week, would be this code right here. And then you would make sure to rename it Unit 7 Lesson 2 Mini Challenge, and always put your name at the front so that when you send it to me, I know that it's yours. Okay, so that's going to be your homework this week. to complete the code, and then you will get through the entire disc maze. Woohoo! And then I believe, let me just take a quick look with you guys. So this was lesson 2. And then next week is lesson 3. And oh, they do actually, yeah. So we do have a few more lessons before the exam, but I'm not giving any quizzes. So just to let you know, there's not a quiz this week. What I'm going to do for this unit is just do the unit test. So that'll be after we finish the other lessons. And we may skip depending on if they're repetitive or not. So we'll decide. Okay, guys, so please make sure to do the code for the disc maze and then send that to me. So that will be your homework for this week. All right. Okay, thanks. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.